All right, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to Healthy Together Time. It's such a fun time that we get to meet together as a community. We get to celebrate. There is nothing more exciting than celebrating other people. So keep those wins coming in the chat. Celebrate each other in there. This is so fun to see your wins, your success. We welcome you. If this is your first time, we do this every Wednesday night, same time, same place. Invite your friends. You don't even have to be a client of Optavia to hop on our community call. Everyone is welcome. Today, we're going to talk about a few fun things, but before we get started with that, let me just share my screen really quick. All right. We got to talk about the Show Up Challenge. Someone asked, what is the Show Up Challenge? That is such a fun thing that we are doing right now. It's a 90-day challenge where we are showing up better for ourselves in our lives, for our families. We're working on being consistent with our eating plans. We're working on the mindset. We're setting our own personal goals. So if you don't know about the Show Up Challenge, reach out to the person that invited you. It's not too late to join. I think we're like exactly at the halfway point about now. So you still have about 45 days or so left in the challenge. You have plenty of time to get started if you're just wanting to join us. So reach out to the person that invited you. They can get you connected with the sign up. There's actually a tracker you get to hang up and track your progress. It's a lot of fun. We're doing there's emails to encourage you. It's a lot of fun. So join us if you are not already doing the Show Up Challenge. And it's really helped just to keep us motivated going into the holidays. It's so fun. So we invite you to do that. All right, a couple things here. There is also an app for the Show Up Challenge. So if you don't already have that, it's called Healthy Together. You can also ask the person that invited you to send you an invite for that, but you can actually find a lot of things, even the playbacks for these calls on the app. There's a lot of great tips. If you want some tips for your program, a lot of fun things on the app. So make sure that you're not only plugging in on Wednesday nights, but you've got the app, you got your tracker. And one thing that we invite you to do is turn on your camera if you can. I know there's some times that you can't turn on your camera. There's some places, maybe you're at work, but if you're someplace that you can turn on your camera, turn it on. Don't be scared. We love seeing your face. We love to interact with you. So if you're able, turn on your camera and make sure that you're checking in with your buddy if you're doing the Show Up Challenge. And invite some friends. It's not too late to be inviting friends. Like I said, we're only about halfway through, so we still have plenty of time. And before we get started with our topic tonight, I just always like to review how our clients are having the best success with the program. There's 4 components to our program, and we just like to review this every week if you're someone new and you're not familiar with it, or just as a reminder. And I invited one of my good friends, Cheryl, to hop on and just share about the 4 components of our program. So Cheryl, are you able to unmute yourself?
Okay, yes. Awesome. Okay, thanks, Liz. So I love our 4 components. The 4 components of our program, they're kind of like the 4 legs of a chair. If you don't utilize all 4 legs, then the chair isn't going to be very stable, right? That kind of makes sense. So these to me are what make the difference from just doing a diet. And the clients who have the most success will do all 4 parts. So just to kind of go through those real quick. First, everyone gets a coach or an accountability buddy. And coaches are working on themselves too. So I love that we get to link arms and do this together. And then second is our Habits of Health transformational system, which is key because your body will typically match up to where your mind is set, right? So this is where you do the mindset work. And then third is our Optavia community. And you're participating in that right now on this webinar. You're not alone in your pursuit of optimal health, and your chances of success increase when you plug in. So good job for being here. And then fourth, are our scientifically designed fuelings, which balance blood sugar, reduce cravings, reduce decision fatigue, and simplify the process of creating new habits. So I love that it keeps my life simple for me in my busy life and all the busy things I do. Keeps it simple. So we specialize in high nutrition and muscle protection with nothing artificial. So those are those 4 components. And this is me. I have the opportunity to share my story today. Um, and the four components that I talked about are going to be really instrumental in my story here. So you can kind of see, and what I've learned is that the longer I've been in this community and working on my health, the more I've come to learn that there are layers to our stories and different chapters that make up who we are, and everyone plays an important part. So when I first found Optavia, I was so ready to make a change, or so I thought. I had a 6 month old baby and I was tired of wearing maternity clothes when I was no longer pregnant. It was the heaviest I'd ever been. I felt extremely uncomfortable, and my size and lack of fitness were limiting me in the things that I could do. My confidence was shot and I felt stuck. Enter Optavia. And unlike so many other things I had tried, this thing worked. I started melting away and lost 75 pounds in about a year. I was so excited. However, it had been just about weight loss for me. And the only thing that had changed was my body. I treated it like a diet, and had I not gotten pregnant again right after, I'm sure I would have gained my weight back anyway. Because I had only temporarily changed my habits and was counting the days when I could go back to eating all my favorite things again. So I gained 60 pounds with that pregnancy. And after having my second baby, I realized that I would need to do things differently this time if I was going to have lasting results. So next, a financial need came up for us, and my sister, who was my coach, reminded me of the trilogy of health that Optavia offers: healthy body, mind, and finances. And I could stay home with my kids and still help my family financially while helping others with a program that I knew worked. And this is when I decided to dive all in to the full program that Optavia offers. I did more than just eat the food and check in with my coach when I needed something. I began to plug in to this amazing community and surround myself with like-minded people who were focused on health. I began to read my life book and listen to webinars and attend live events. And something incredible happened. I found a missing piece that I didn't even know I needed. My mindset started to change, and the things I thought would simply make me a better coach for my clients actually helped me to change the mindset that got me stuck in the first place and start to become a healthy person. Um, and before I knew it, I was thinking of things differently. This was no longer just a temporary change to achieve results on the scale. This was the start of a journey that would create a healthy lifestyle, and one that I wanted to stick. And that's when I knew that coaching and staying in this community was going to be a part of my long-term plan for health. Over time, I made more and more choices that served me and my goals better. They just started to become habits to me. And then something crazy happened. People started to call me a healthy person. I still remember going to a friend's baby shower, arriving late and having my friend, the host, say, "Help yourself to some food," followed by, "There's lots of healthy stuff in there." And then she addressed the entire group of women who were all looking at me and said, "She's super healthy." I remember thinking, who, me? And it was then that I realized she was right. I was a healthy person. It was becoming a part of my identity and who I was. And I liked that. I went on to lose 80 pounds, bringing my weight down 90 pounds from when I first found Optavia. I'm still not perfect. I make tons of mistakes, and I'm constantly learning and growing. But I think that's the point. It really is a lifelong journey. Last year, I had one of the hardest years of my life, including my sweet son, my 5-year-old, 4 at the time, being diagnosed with autism, my grandma and last living grandparent dying from COVID, and my husband suffering from extreme health issues, which over a year of doctors and tests we learned was due to a domino of events, including a stroke at the young age of 35. I felt broken and stretched beyond my limits. I learned a lot about myself during that time and how I manage stress. A lot of old habits crept back in, and I gained some of my weight back. Through it all, I knew that I needed this community. and I chose to stay plugged in. Sorry. And that choice has helped me to stay focused on my health and to not give up even when things are hard. It's helped me to never quit on myself. And I've been picking myself back up and continue to keep moving forward. So life is going to happen, right? We're all going to go through hard times. And that's why it's so important to have a long-term plan for success. Using all 4 components of our program really, really has made all the difference for me. I'm so grateful that this has been my plan. And thanks for letting me share.
Cheryl, thank you so much. Thanks for sharing your heart, for sharing your journey, for being vulnerable, because just like you, we all have things happen. We never know when those things are going to happen, but I'm so glad that you embrace the 4 components, the whole community of Optavia, to give you the tools to get through those hard times, to be able to pick yourself back up. We're so happy that you're in our community. So glad that you're able to share that and to be able to help other people that are going through similar things. So thank you. I love your story. And that actually leads us perfectly to what we want to talk about tonight. So thank you. We want to talk about, what is your long-term plan? Have you guys thought about what happens after we get healthy? What next? Just like Cheryl said, she went through life. Some hard things happened and her brain just wanted to take care of her. All those old habits started creeping back in. That's just what she remembered of how she dealt with things in the past. So have you thought about, what will you do when life happens? Once you reach your goal, what do you have a long-term plan? So we want to talk about that tonight, just to set you up for success for, what's next. And often we think about, that we can't wait to be done with this diet, to go back to all the things that we loved. Be honest in the chat. Tell me if you've ever thought about that. I can't wait till I'm done with this diet and I've lost my weight. We want to move from that into just a mindset of optimal health, that we're always trying to improve our health and get better. So we often think that healthy weight is going to be the end of our journey, but that's actually the beginning. That's just past the first step. Our first step is getting ourselves to a healthy weight. And the only part, that's just the beginning. And so I like to think of our health journey or life like a road trip. We've all been on a road trip, probably. Some of us love it. Some of us hate it. It's kind of like life. Some of us love life, some don't. But on a road trip, we often have to take a pit stop. We've got to pull off, potty break, right? We know how that goes, or get gas or whatever it is. So your pit stop is your health journey. You've decided to take control of your health, to work on some changes. You're getting healthy, you're excited, you're seeing results. It feels pretty good. But what happens when you're done with that? When you reach that healthy weight, where will you go? Are you headed right back to that same road that you came from? Or have you decided to take a new road, to make some changes and become an even better version of yourself? That's one exciting thing about your health journey with Optavia, is you are creating the life that you want. You're becoming the dominant force in your life, and you get to choose where that leads you. And so we want to make sure that you don't head right back to that same road and go back to the old habits that that got us where we started. And so I want to go over a few things that are going to help us on this road to health. Number one, you see this picture of the cemetery, right? You're wondering, what does that have to do with health, right? But one thing that Jared Smithson has said that we love, this quote is, you can't lose and maintain healthy weight loss as the same person as you started. So some of those things are going to have to die. And sometimes that's a little sad. And sometimes we have to throw a little funeral for those habits that maybe we really enjoyed before, but we know are going to put us right back on that road. And I'd love to hear some in the chat. What are some of those things, those habits that didn't serve you, that aren't serving you now, that you're going to have to put to rest, that you're going to have to grieve a little bit? It's going to be a little bit sad. Some of those things might be, if you're a drinker, that maybe you're not going to drink as often. Maybe you're not going to sit on the couch every night after work anymore, that you're going to choose to be active. Maybe it's that you're not going to keep junk food in the house. You're going to change how you grocery shop and how you feed your family. Maybe it's sugary breakfast foods or dessert every night. Or for me, it was having candy in the house. That's one of my triggers is when I'm stressed, I crave chocolate. So I don't even buy it anymore. That's something that I had to grieve a little bit for, that it wasn't always there for me. And that's okay. I've replaced it with something else. Maybe it's the fast food drive-through. Yeah, I love all of these things in the chat. Go ahead and read through them. Rewarding myself with sugar. Those are all things that maybe helped us back when we needed them, when we didn't have the tools, but now you have the tools. You don't need to buffer with food anymore. You don't need to buffer with Netflix anymore or with alcohol. You're getting the tools to be able to process those emotions. And yes, you might enjoy some of those things sometimes. Doesn't mean you have to give them up forever, but in the right way. You get to celebrate and enjoy them in the right way, not as a buffer. And so that's one of the things that really made a big difference for me, is knowing that I couldn't go back to who I was before if I wanted lasting changes. All right. Number 2 is have a long-term plan. Are you looking at your health goal like a finish line? Can you just not wait to see that goal weight on the scale? Have you thought about what will keep moving you forward afterwards? It's not a race. Health is not a race, although we love the results of Optavia, but it's a lifelong journey. Just like Kurtley talked about last week, we need to have a clear vision of what we're creating long term. I want to ask you, can you see it? Can you see where you're going to be in 5 years from now? Can you say it out loud? Can you feel what that feels like? What does healthy person Oakley or healthy Cheryl or healthy Amber, what does that look like in 5 years? What are you doing? What are you saying? Who are you surrounding yourself with? What does a vacation look like as a healthy person? What does a holiday look like as a healthy person? What are you doing for exercise? What are your relationships looking like? What tools are you learning now that you're going to take on your road trip and continue with 5-10 years from now? So I want you to have that clear vision of not just what you're creating in this moment, but what that's going to look like 10, 20 years, maybe even 200 years from now. What legacy have you passed down? What are you teaching your children now that they're going to pass on and pass on? That's pretty exciting to think that you have control over some of those things, that you're creating a legacy and breaking some chains. All right. I'm reading the chat, you guys, as they're going through. Holiday with a zip line in it. I love that. Being active on a holiday instead of just eating, right? So Jesse says, being active with my 4 kids and 3 dogs and enjoying doing it. Not just doing it out of obligation, but enjoying playing with your kids. That there's a big difference there. So what does that feel like? Do you have that clear picture? All right. Number 4. One of the very best ways to make health part of your identity, like Cheryl said, she's creating that identity that she's a healthy person. She's starting to believe that. It's by helping others to change their lives too. And one way that I like to make sure that I stay on that path is I like to do a check with myself, help keep myself on track. And I give myself a high 5 check every day. I've gotten in the habit. It just takes a few seconds. And this can be a way to course correct quickly. It's an easy way to get back on track. And it's so simple. You just ask yourself, how am I doing in these 5 core habits? Am I getting my sleep? Ask yourself, am I getting to bed on time? Am I getting good sleep? Am I getting out of bed when my alarm is ringing? How is your sleep? The second thing is drink water. How are you doing with your hydration? Are you drinking your calories? Did you go back to the sugary drinks? Or are you getting your water in? Number 3 is, are you eating 6 small balanced meals per day to balance your blood sugar? Can you feel that difference with your inflammation? That's one thing that I love, is you can feel a difference when you're eating healthy. So that's motivation to want to continue doing that. Number 4 is, how is your mindset? How are you noticing that you're managing your stress? Are you working on personal development? Are you still hopping on the Habits of Health calls or Healthy Together times on Wednesday, even once you hit your goal? Are you staying in this community? And number 5 is movement. Are you doing something every day to move your body? It doesn't have to be hours at the gym. Are you purposely parking farther from the store? Are you purposely taking the stairs? Are you going on a quick walk? Are you moving your body every day? And so as we do this high 5 check, you can course correct quickly. You can say, oh, I'm not drinking my water. I'm going to start carrying my mug with me everywhere I go and get my water in. You can catch it early. So that's a simple thing. And then real quick, the last thing is one reason why I became a health coach 11 years ago is I knew myself. I knew how easy I quit on myself, and I wanted to have health be part of my identity. And I thought the best way to do that is if I was helping others change their lives also, because it's really hard to go backwards when you're helping others move forward on their journey. And so there's also been studies that show that Optavia health coaches are extremely more likely to get to their goal and keep it off than if you are just doing it on your own. So think about, maybe there's somebody that wants to do this with you. Maybe you have a friend or a family member. And what would that look like if you helped them? If you helped them up and you linked arms together and you helped create that identity for yourself that you are a healthy person, that you help others. It's so much harder to go back to those old ways when you're helping others have success too. And like I said, we love to celebrate other people. We love it. It's the best thing ever. So if you're curious about what that would look like, stay on after this call. We're going to explore that a little bit more and just see if that might be a good fit for you to help you stay on this path of long-term health. And that could be part of your long-term plan. So we'll talk about that more and can answer questions. But I know for me, that has been the number one thing that's helped me stay on track. Having this community of support, continuing to learn and continuing to work on myself. And I just want to share with you, one of my good friends, Carolyn, she posted something that just really went along with this topic this week on Facebook. And I wanted her to share a little bit about her journey, how she has made health part of her long-term plan. Let's see, Carolyn, are you on? Can you unmute yourself? I know she's on. There you are. Go ahead. Can you unmute yourself? No?
There
There you
that
go.
work?
Yes.
Thank you, Liz. This is so fun for me. I'm so excited to share with you, and I'm just so grateful for Liz and all of her comments. She's amazing. So my name, like she said, is Carolyn Cannon, and almost 5 years ago, when I connected with my friend and coach and started on the Optavia 5-in-1 weight loss plan, I was not thinking long term. I just knew that I needed help right then to keep a promise to myself that I would lose 20 pounds before going to the doctor again, or I was going to accept his offer for weight loss medication, which is something I did not want to do. I just needed to feel better and be able to get up and down to play with my grandkids. So imagine my excitement when I was able to lose 60 pounds and actually get to a healthy weight. I was finally moving easier, feeling better, and had lost much more than my goal of 20 pounds. I had also gained so much in the process. I was sure that I would never go backwards because I felt amazing. I'm sure I'm not alone in that feeling. Well, old habits are hard to change, even with the best of intentions. And even though I was working on building new healthy habits and I had made incredible progress in my mindset, life was happening to me and my weight began to creep up. I then had a moment a couple of years ago when I came to the very clear realization that you have to wake up every day and choose to be a healthy person. Rather than that being a discouraging thought, like, you mean I can't just go back to my old ways of doing things? It has been very empowering. It means that I don't have to be perfect today or tomorrow or next week. I just have to decide today that I'm going to continue moving forward and working to have my new habits become part of who I am. And that is where the magic lies, in getting your heart to match up with what your head already knows. Another thing happened about this same time. I had to laugh when Cheryl shared the kind of the same thought. I worked as a secretary in a high school where there was food around all the time. And one day somebody brought in donuts into the office and they were being passed around. And I heard someone say, "Don't offer one to Carolyn, she's the healthy one." I was completely stunned. My mind had never thought of myself as the healthy one, or rather, I should say, my heart had never thought of myself as the healthy one. But in that moment, I realized that it was becoming the truth. I was becoming the healthy one. And my heart finally knew it. I was in this for life, which makes it all about being long term. Not long term perfection, but long term persistence. So, like I said, when life happened and I realized that I needed to lose some weight again, I had a moment of feeling like, here I am back at the beginning. But as I talked to my coach, she helped me realize that I wasn't back at the beginning. Um, I could look back and see how far I had come. I was at a much better place than I had been before. I had the tools, I had the mindset, and I had the growth providing a much different place to begin. So I continued working with my coach. I went back on the 5-in-1 weight loss program. I stepped up my game with reading in my life book and Dr. A's Habits of Health book. I connected more than ever with this amazing community. And I am happy to say that as of this week, I am back down to my healthy weight and feeling better than ever. So the habits of stop, challenge, choose, living above the line, eating lean and green dinners, drinking my water, eating every 2 to 3 hours, processing emotion, and so many other habits are slowly but oh so surely becoming part of who I am. And 6 months ago, I finally made the belated jump into coaching. I am all in, and the opportunity to help others create health in their lives has been a true blessing in my life. I have 2 daughters and a son-in-law, along with some old and new friends that I have the privilege to link arms with on this journey. And being around these incredible, like-minded people is probably one of the biggest reasons I will be able to stay on this journey long term. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. Oh my goodness. I love your story. And one thing that it really touched home with me is we are in this together. Hopefully you never felt judged, going through struggles, because we've all been through that. Even as a health coach, I promise you, I mean, you're 6 months you've been coaching and you've already been helping so many people and really growing so much yourself. But even as health coaches, we will struggle along the way. And that's one great thing with Optavia is you have the tools, you have the community to pick yourself back up and keep going. And so I'm just proud of you for wanting to share that with others. And I know that's really helped you to form that as part of your identity as the healthy person. So thank you so much for sharing that. And, that's one thing that we love about our healthy community is we are in this together. And so I just want to extend an invitation to you, whether you are a client, a coach, or just a friend that wants to grow. We are getting together in Cancun. It's going to be November 10th through 12th. We're staying at the JW Marriott. It's going to be a lot of personal development, fun, connection, with healthy people, like-minded people. And so if you would like more information about that, reach out to the person that invited you. We would love to have you join us. It will be just a life-changing experience. And so thank you so much. And next week, we invite you to hop on. We're going to talk next week about, are you up for a reality check? And Amber Smithson's going to lead us on that. It's going to be fantastic. I can promise you that. So join us next week at 6:30. And like I mentioned before, we're going to stay on and talk a little bit about what health coaching looks like. So if you are curious about if that would be a good fit for you, for your long-term plan, we invite you to stay on. You just stay right here in this room. We're going to talk about how to be 500% more likely to reach and maintain your healthy weight and bringing others with you, and also improving your healthy finances. So if you're interested in that, stay right here. If you are a new coach, we are going to do a new coach breakout. There is a breakout room. So new coaches, just join that. There should be a button at the bottom of your screen that you can go into the breakout room. And if you need help, just click the raise hand. We can move you over there. And so if you're a new coach, or if you're a coach and you're just wanting a refresher, that's always great to just hop over and just kind of get that again. So thank you so much for joining us on Healthy Together Time. And like I said, stay on if you would like to kind of explore that with us. All right, we hope you have a great week. And my challenge for you is to really look at some of those past habits and have a little funeral for them right now. As you're in your health journey, just know that there's better things ahead. Instead of the sugar, I get to enjoy exercise and energy and feeling in control when there's a plate of cookies in front of me. That is more empowering than eating a plate of cookies, is to be able to choose if I want that or not. So think about what it is for you, that what things you want to make a change to move forward in that path of lifelong health. All right, you guys, hope you have a good week.